A few months ago, something unusual happened inside one of the most important AI companies. An AI researcher resigned. Not because the technology failed, not because the company was struggling, but because the company decided to allow the AI systems to be used in partnership with the military. For some people, that decision made perfect sense. Governments use technology to protect national security. For others, the decision raised a serious concern. Should the most powerful AI systems ever created be connected to weapons and warfare? The technology did not change. The algorithms did not suddenly become different. But one decision changed how people saw the entire system. And that reveals something important about artificial intelligence. The biggest question about AI are no longer technical. They are about power. Who builds it? Who controls it? And who decides how it should be used? I am Rohith Namboothiri. I am an independent AI researcher, AI strategist. I build AI products and think deeply about how humans can work with AI without losing judgment. This is RN Talks. When most people think about artificial intelligence, they think about tools that help individuals. They think about chatbots that write emails, systems that generate images, tools that help developers write code faster, or assistants that summarize documents. Those are the visible parts of AI. But something deeper is happening underneath. Artificial intelligence is slowly becoming a kind of infrastructure. In the same way, electricity, the internet, and financial systems became infrastructure. Infrastructure does not just help individuals complete tasks. It shapes how entire societies function. Electricity changed industry, cities, medicine, and transportation. The internet transformed communication, media, commerce, and politics. Artificial intelligence has the potential to influence decision-making across almost every field. Healthcare systems may use AI to analyze medical scans and recommend treatments. Financial institutions may use AI to evaluate loan risk. Governments may use AI to analyze intelligence data. Companies may use AI to screen job candidates or manage operations. As these systems become more capable, the question stops being, what can technology do? The question becomes, who decides how it should be used? Whenever a technology becomes powerful enough to shape society, governance becomes unavoidable. Think about nuclear technology in the 20th century. Nuclear energy can power cities and produce enormous amounts of electricity. But it can also produce weapons capable of destroying entire regions. The same scientific discovery created both possibilities. Because of that, nations had to create treaties, international agreements, oversight bodies, and regulatory systems. Artificial intelligence is not identical to nuclear technology, but the pattern is similar in one important way. A powerful capability emerges, and society must decide how it should be governed. Right now, three major forces are shaping the future of artificial intelligence. The first force is technology companies. Technology companies are pushing the boundaries of what AI systems can do. Their goal is innovation. They want to build models that are faster, more capable, and more useful than anything that existed before. The second force is governments. Governments see artificial intelligence through the lens of national security, economic competitiveness, and geopolitical power. If AI becomes a decisive advantage in military strategy, intelligence analysis, or economic productivity, countries will compete to lead that field. History shows how often powerful technologies move in this direction. A well-known example is the Enigma machine. It was originally developed in the early 20th century as a device for secure commercial communication. Businesses wanted a way to send messages that competitors could not easily read. But the technology did not remain limited to business. The German military later adopted and modified Enigma to encrypt wartime communication during the Second World War. What began as a commercial encryption tool became a central part of military strategy. This pattern appears again and again in technological history. A capability created for one purpose can quickly become strategically important once governments recognize its potential. The third force shaping AI is society. Citizens, researchers, journalists, and policymakers ask a different set of questions. They ask whether AI systems are fair, whether they are safe, whether they might reinforce bias, whether they could be used for surveillance, or whether they might concentrate too much power in a small number of organizations. Each of these groups is looking at the same technology, but their priorities are different. Technology companies focus on innovation. Governments focus on strategic advantage. Society focuses on safety and accountability. Balancing those three perspectives is one of the biggest challenges in AI governance. Another complication is speed. Technology companies can build and release new AI models in a matter of months. Research breakthroughs can appear very quickly, but laws, regulations, and international governments usually move much more slowly. Governments usually take years to debate and implement new policy frameworks. Public understanding moves even more slowly than that. So we end up in a situation where the technology evolves rapidly while the systems designed to guide and regulate it struggle to keep pace. That gap creates tension. Some people worry that innovation is moving too quickly without sufficient oversight. Others worry that heavy regulation could slow progress and cause responsible organizations to fall behind less responsible actors. There is no simple answer to that tension. Inside AI companies themselves, these debates are already happening. Engineers and researchers often think deeply about the potential consequences of the systems they build. They think about issues like bias in training data, unintended use of models, or how powerful systems might be misused. At the same time, leadership teams must think about market competition, national security partnerships, and the pressure to keep pushing technological progress forward. Those perspectives do not always align perfectly, so disagreements emerge about what the responsible path should be. How quickly should new capabilities be released? What safeguards should exist? Which applications should be restricted? These are the difficult questions because they involve trade-offs. Another issue is accountability. If artificial intelligence begins influencing decisions in healthcare, finance, hiring, education, and security, mistakes will inevitably occur. When a human decision maker makes a mistake, the accountability is usually clear. We can identify who made the decision and evaluate the judgment. But when a complex AI system is involved, responsibility becomes harder to trace. Was the issue in the data used to train the model? Was it in the design of the algorithm? Was it in the way the system was deployed by an organization? Or was it in the human judgment that relied too heavily on the machine's recommendation? As AI becomes more integrated into decision-making, societies will have to develop clearer frameworks for accountability. There is also a broader philosophical question behind all of this. Artificial intelligence is not just another productivity tool. It is a technology that can amplify human decision-making at scale. That means its effects multiply very quickly. If a system is helpful, it can improve millions of lives. If it is flawed, those flaws can also scale. That is why governance matters. Governance is not about stopping technology. It is about guiding how powerful technologies are used. Sometimes people imagine that the future of AI will be decided entirely by engineers or technology companies. In reality, it will be shaped by a much larger set of actors. Researchers who build new capabilities, companies that deploy systems and products, governments that set legal boundaries, courts that interpret those laws, journalists who investigate misuse, citizens who demand accountability. All of these forces interact with one another. That interaction is what will determine how artificial intelligence evolves. The conversation about artificial intelligence is often framed as a race between companies, a race between nations, a race between competing technologies. But the real challenge may not be winning the race. The real challenge may be learning how to steer the technology responsibly as it becomes more powerful. Artificial intelligence will almost certainly influence how societies function in the coming decades. It will affect healthcare systems, economic systems, security systems, and communication systems. Because of that, the most important question about AI may not be purely technical. They may be questions about governance, responsibility, and power. The future of artificial intelligence will not be determined only by how advanced the model becomes. It will also be determined by the choices humans make about how these models are used. And that may be the most important part of the entire conversation. Because powerful technologies do not shape the world on their own. People decide what they become.